Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator, actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome, and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar Dee Eight. Are you? Maria, answer me. Are you? So I really am a stuffed animal? I'm made of cloth and cotton, so there's no way I can talk. So I can't talk to Maria? Sakutaro looked up at Maria sadly. Maria's face was covered with tears, and it looked as though it had even lost all traces of sadness. Ooh, I hear you, Sakutaro. You aren't a stuffed animal made of cloth and cotton. You are my friend. I hate Angie. Ooh. Sorry, Maria. Are you? Sakutaro regretted doing that. By freezing her heart, Maria had finally been able to escape from her sadness. By speaking up and calling her back, he'd caused her to be overwhelmed with sadness again. Sakutaro tried hugging Maria, letting go of her and gazing at her uneasily, lost it as to how he could bring Maria's spirits up. He might have looked a little humorous doing that. In the end, that was enough to distract Maria from her sadness. Sorry, crying won't help anything anymore. You got in a fight with Angie, but you still have lots of friends, Maria. I'm not the only one. Everyone's here. Sakusuke, Sakukichi, the animal band, the words I didn't get a chance to read. I clicked a button. Maria looked at the many stuffed animals around her pillow, which were gathered together as though they were having an idle chat. The animal band and many, many more. Everyone is worried about you, Maria. They're all talking over and over about how to cheer you up, okay? Everyone won't go away like Angie. They won't. We'll always be together. Really. All of you are only with me at home. We can't go out together when Mama's around, and we can't go to school. You aren't supposed to take us to school, so you'll get in trouble if the teacher finds out. But if no one finds out, we can be together at any time. Sakutaro, you're big, so you'd be found. Then you can take one of the kids that are small enough to walk around with. For example, what about them? If you take the friends in the forest band, looks like they're small, so you can hide them in your pocket and go to school together. There's a lot of them in the band. I can't fit them all in my pocket. She collected all of the forest band pieces that were scattered across her bed. There were about as many of them as pieces in a chess set, so it would probably be impossible to fit them all in her pocket. In that case, you can just take friends that you're especially close with. You can take 4 rabbits, your best friends, in the forest band. I could fit 4 in my pockets. Yeah, this way they won't be found. Now you won't be alone even at school, Maria. Those kids will be with you, even where I can't go. Yeah, maybe I won't be lonely that way. Maybe I can hold out until coming home from school. As long as we aren't found by the teacher. And Mama, we can be with you at any time. So let's be together, play together forever. We definitely won't leave you all alone, Maria. You? Maria's expression finally regained a little of its brightness. That's right. In the beginning, Maria's world didn't have Angie in it. Even without Angie, it was fun with everyone. And yet, strangely enough, it suddenly became sad without Angie, who would come in at the end. All that's happened is that I've returned to the world right before Angie entered it. So there's nothing to be sad about. Yeah, I'm not lonely. Sakutaro and the others are with me. You? I love you, Maria. I won't let any more humans come into my world. Marriage Source is an alliance between me and Beatrice only. From the start, even Beatrice didn't want to let Angie join. It's all right this way. Angie was still too young. For now, until you can be friends with Angie, and I think it's okay to forget about it. You can play together once you've regained your high spirits, Maria. Until then, all of us will be by your side. Thank you, Sakutaro, everyone. Then Maria once again regained her former world. She regained the world that wasn't lonely, where she was surrounded by many friends. Just like usual, she didn't have any human friends at school, but her magic friends were always with her. The rabbit band she hid in her pockets talked with her during class, sounding like they were having fun. Just listening to that greatly embellished the time she spent in class. Maria made it so that as long as Mama and the teacher didn't find out, her other friends could always be with her. When Mama told Maria to go up outside, Maria would secretly pack Sakutaro and Sasuke and the rest into her bag and play together at the library or somewhere. Even when Mama was late coming home and Maria went shopping for dinner, she always went with Sakutaro. The man at the convenience store and the other people were nice to Sakutaro. He sometimes gave a second portion free for Maria and Sakutaro. When Mama found out, Maria would get in trouble for bringing Sakutaro and the rest outside. When the teacher found out, Maria would get in trouble for bringing toys to school. The toxin must be strong in Mama and the teacher. That's why Sakutaro looks like a normal stuffed animal to them. After all, the convenience store man and the others say hello to Sakutaro. Not all humans are hopeless. There are tons of people who, unlike Angie and Mama and teacher, can say hello to magic friends like I can. Oh, Maria-chan, welcome. Was your Mama late coming home tonight too? Yeah, but I've got Sakutaro, so I'm not lonely. Right, Sakutaro? You? It's not just Sakutaro today. Some other friends came too. Oh, other friends, is it? What kind of friends did you bring today? Today the rabbits from the forest band are also with me. Look, in my pocket. Maria began to line up the 4 ceramic rabbit dolls on the register. I would like to state the absolute unrealistic nature of the idea of bringing any kind of ceramic toy of any size anywhere and it not just breaking. As the owner of the shop looked at it, smiling, he sent a signal to a part-timer with his chin. Then the sign of the other register said closed was taken down and a voice called out for everyone to move over there. All the people in the line behind Maria lined up behind that one. I see. You do have a lot of friends, Maria-chan, but I hope your Mama comes home soon. Ooh, Mama's busy at work again, so she's spending the night at the company. It's been very busy lately. She hasn't even been able to get much time to talk to me on the telephone. But I'm not lonely. I've got Sakutaro and the rest, right? You? I've even got all the rabbits from the band. Look, QQ. Is QQ the sound a rabbit makes? My, I've never heard that. After smiling at Sakutaro, who was poking his head out of her knapsack, she played around with the rabbit band on the register, making them frolic around. Although the shop manager gazed at this pleasantly, he had a slightly pitying look on his face. This was apparently a single-mother household, where the mother had to work hard and couldn't come home very often. On top of that, it looked like this girl didn't even have any friends, as he watched her play around happily with her dolls, and claimed that she wasn't lonely despite everything. He couldn't help but feel a kind of compassion. And actually, this wasn't limited to him alone. Maria had become quite famous in this shopping district. Maria-chan, you should eat some Odin every once in a while. If you don't eat your eggs and fish paste, you won't get big. Ooh? Can't get a cream roll? If you don't eat certain things, you won't get big. How about Odin for today? Ooh, then I'll have some Odin. Yep, that's the ticket. Why don't I stick a whole bunch in there? Want mustard? I can't handle spicy things. I see, then. You make sure you don't let it spill on the way home. I'm sure it'll be delicious while it's hot. Ooh, thank you. She had planned on getting some sweet pastries for dinner, but since Odin had been recommended to her, she would be having that tonight instead. Letting someone else determine the menu makes for an unexpected and interesting meal. Very often, Maria had to decide what her dinner would be on her own, so it's easy for the menus to get a little one-sided. So it felt fun to have a meal she hadn't anticipated. Thanks for giving us extra, mister. Send my regards to your other friends at home. No stuffing yourself on your way back. Go straight home and eat it there. Ooh, thanks, mister. Maria raised the bag with the Odin container high. Huh? Uryu? What is it, Maria? The key isn't in my pocket. Standing in front of the door to her house, Maria searched all over her body. The key to the house wasn't there. She always methodically put it in the same pocket, so there was no way she had put it in another pocket, but she searched her whole body just in case. Unsurprisingly, it wasn't there. Did you drop it when you took your wallet out? No. When I took my wallet, I definitely felt it. Also felt it when I searched my pocket partway here. It was there until partway. I didn't drop it. Ooh. Even though the late autumn wind had been bearable when Maria had been thinking of returning home, where the heater was, now that she was confused and had lost her key, the wind tormented her. But no matter how hard she searched, she couldn't find her key. She turned out all her pockets and even tried taking off her jacket and hitting it, but to no avail. Of course, she also turned the knapsack Sakutaro was in upside down, but the key didn't come out. Ooh. Something that should have been there wasn't where it was supposed to be. Why isn't the key there when I didn't do anything wrong? Why isn't it? Why? Maria was cold and frustrated and angry, and she stamped on the ground. The bottom of her foot throbbed, but that didn't lessen her frustration. At the same time, her tears poured out. Ooh. It wasn't her fault, so it was someone else's fault. But Maria didn't know who that someone was, and could do nothing but continue to let out a moan of anger. Uryu? I'm sure you dropped it part way. Let's look for it, okay? Let's return on the road we came by and search, okay? Ooh? Even though I went to all the trouble of buying Odin and got eggs and stuff for free, I won't be able to eat it while it's hot. Ooh. Maria, I know it's frustrating, but let's search, okay? It's no one's fault, so let's search. Maria finally lent an ear to Sakutaro's words and began to trod back down the road she had come on. The wind was colder than before, and it felt like it was blowing in through the corners of her jacket in a mean way. Uryu, let's watch our feet closely and search, okay? Then let's get home quickly, let the heater warm us up, and eat Odin, alright? I'm sure it'll be delicious. Ooh, gone. Ooh, it's gone. As Sakutaro encouraged her, Maria searched for the key. But she made it all the way back to the convenience store where she had bought the Odin. She hadn't found it. Just in case, she asked the man at the convenience store where they had found a dropped key, but they hadn't found anything. One more time she returned home, paying close attention to the area around her feet, but unsurprisingly, she didn't find it. She was no longer frustrated enough to stomp her feet, but hot tears dripped down her face. The odin had cooled down completely. Even though she had been told it would be delicious when warm, she hadn't been able to eat it, even though the man had given her so much free stuff. Uryu, don't cry. Mama isn't coming back tonight, so let's do our best and search. Why can't I find it? Ooh. Maria, don't cry. Let's do our best and search. Maria? Maria was no longer able to hold back her tears. Sobbing, she clutched Sakutaro and held the bag of odin, returning once more down the road she had come by. Perhaps because more and more houses and stores had turned their lights off by now, it was even darker and harder to search than before, and once again, without finding the key, she returned to the convenience store. Maria-chan, still can't find your key? Ooh, my key, it's gone. Wasn't your mother away for the night? So you can't get into your house without a key. Ooh, can't get in. Well, that's not good. Did you try going to the police? They might be able to help you. Mama said not to talk to the policemen, even if they start talking to me. Oh? Well, why is that? It was probably because Rosa would be liable for making such a young girl like Maria watch over the house by herself, and because she knew that this wasn't something that would be permitted by society, so Maria was indoctrinated into changing the store she bought things at so she didn't catch the eyes of adults, and into saying no more than a greeting to policemen even if they talked to her. Maria had obediently done as she was told, instead of considering why she must do that. She was much more concerned with meekly obeying, because her mother had told her so. But the manager of the convenience store probably didn't think of it that way. In the first place, seeing such a young girl being forced to watch over the house alone, and so frequently, would make anyone worry. And then, after making the round trip between her home and the store once more, and arriving at the convenience store for a third time, a policeman was there. It's that child. Maria-chan, did you find your key? Ooh, didn't find it. What's your name, miss? The policeman asked her name, but Maria didn't answer. Did your mother tell you not to talk to the policeman? Heh, don't worry, no need to be scared of me. Have you eaten dinner yet, miss? I bought some, but I couldn't get in my house, so I couldn't eat it. What's your mother doing? Is she not coming home tonight? Is it her work? Ooh, do you know how we can contact your mother at work? Maria hung her head limply. She didn't understand why the policeman was getting mad at her. No, he probably wasn't getting mad at her, but if this reached her mother's ears, then she would definitely be in trouble. Even if she didn't understand the reason why she was in trouble, she at least understood that much. But the policeman wouldn't let Maria go, and her head was swimming from hunger. The policeman noticed that, and it was decided that he'd listen to her story as they ate in the police box. Maria was taken to the police box. She had her odin heated in a microwave oven, and even salty rice cakes and hot tea were brought out for her. She had been told not to talk to policemen. But after being asked about Sakutaro, she responded, starting to feel that this wasn't a bad person. And anyway, she wouldn't be able to return home now, so she didn't know what to do. She told him Mama's work phone number, which she had been told to tell no one of and use only in a very, very serious situation. In the tatami room inside the police box, as she ate the odin that was so hot that it felt like it would burn her, she watched the policeman making the phone call, lazily thinking, I'm probably going to get in trouble. Will Mama get mad at me? Uryu. He must have been listening to the phone ringing for a very long time. With the receiver up to his ear, the policeman looked up the clock, grumbling. Maybe they aren't picking up because their business hour's over? Ha. Hello? Hello? Is this Anti-Rosa Ltd? This is the Komasugawa Police Department police box in front of Sunbonzakura Station. You know, I'm pretty sure a captain from Bleach is the only reason I know how to say that word. Is President, President Ushiroma? Ushiromiya available? Yes? What? She's on vacation? Yes. Starting yesterday, the president has been on a 3-day vacation. Is there some business you have with her? Oh, no. Never mind. So do you know where she might be? You haven't heard where to contact her, have you? Sure. Could you hold on for a second? I have a question, Rosa. What if, like, at this point, the likelihood of, like, honestly, given this scenario, just as how I said, like, it's completely unrealistic to have ceramic toys and take them places, because no matter how careful you are with them, they're going to get broken. But more to the point is this, Rosa. Not only is this very negligent and just, like, do you even like Maria? Do you even care about her? Because given these scenarios, I mean, it's a miracle Maria's just not dead. What if you came home and Maria just was gone? Or what if she just waited on the front porch and froze to death? Or what if she, like, tripped and fell, got hurt, and it's like, well, you don't get home until, like, the flies are eating her corpse. The point being is that, like, it's one thing to be a little bit negligent to a kid. That in itself is already really fucked up. But at this point, it's just, are you hoping she dies while you're on vacation? Because that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. It feels like this is less of an extreme negligence thing and more like a very lazy attempt at premeditated murder. It seems less like you're like like the most lenient way I could view this is you're just an extremely negligent mother who doesn't give a fuck about your child. On the other hand, the harsher way I could look at it is you actively hate her, and not just don't give a shit, but you actively hate her, and you are hoping she's just dead or gone when you come back. I'm just saying, Maria. And again, like, where is the dad? What happened to the dad? Why are both of the parents not able to, be parents? Sure, could you hold on for a second? Hey, anyone heard where the president went for her vacation? Or how to contact her? I heard she was going for an all-you-can-eat crabs in Sapporo with her boyfriend. Okay. This is... in general, I don't like the idea of CPS sort of stuff. Because in general, I feel like a lot of times, in a lot of situations, they don't get involved. They get involved in situations they shouldn't, but they also don't get involved in situations where they should. And also, like, here's the thing. It's just like, and of course, Rosa definitely gets a bit physical with Maria at times, too. I mean, at this point, like, if I'm trying to defend Rosa, I mean, I could be like, well, I mean, at least she doesn't do drugs. I guess. But it's just... One... Rosa doesn't deserve to have a child. Maria deserves much, much better than this. I would say, given the situation of things, provided a situation where Battler was on better terms with Rudolph and all that, you know, if Rudolph, Kyrie, Battler, and Angie were all like one happy family, I would think the best thing to do would be to have Maria also live with them and have a family of 5. Because I mean, this may sound a bit harsh of me to say. I understand I might be a bit harsh with what I'm about to say. But I think Rosa should go to jail. I don't think Rosa should have custody of Maria. I think Rosa is a terrible mother. And I don't think she should have custody of Maria. I don't think she deserves to be a parent, and I think Maria should be living with someone else. I don't think Rosa deserves to be a parent, and I don't think Rosa deserves to have custody of Maria. I think Maria would be better off, like I said, if Rudolph and Battler were on good terms, and that household was doing okay, I'd say Maria should live with those 4 and be a family of 5. I think Rosa should go to jail. I think Rosa should be criminally fucking charged for this at this point. I know that sounds harsh of me, but I feel very angry and disappointed with Rosa, and I feel she should go to prison at this point. You're like, oh, but you could have been worse. She could have been doing worse things to Maria, or doing serious drugs and then doing worse things to Maria, because in that case, death penalty. Let's be clear. With what Rosa's been doing, couple years in prison. Lose custody of Maria. Maria goes to live with Battler, Rudolph, Kyrie, and Angie. Gets adopted by Rudolph and Kyrie. Rosa loses all custody. I mean, she can still visit and stuff, but at this point, you can't be trusted alone with that child. And like 2 years of prison. 2 years prison. And you should never have kids again, Rosa. You're not qualified to be a mother. You're not qualified to be a parent. You're a terrible, awful person. Now, if you start like we're doing like hardcore drugs and we're like doing absolute severe abuse things or endangerment of your child far worse than this, like numerous things I don't even want to say. Death penalty, death. Like the only reason I'd want to show any restraint on that is the fact that if you just were to like execute Rosa for being a horrible person, I mean, it would probably break Maria's heart regardless of the reasoning of stuff. But at the same time, Rosa is an awful person. I feel very angry of Rosa. I feel like anyone who would, care about Maria in any way, shape, or form would feel nothing but anger and rage at Rosa. And very justifiably angry. You went on a 3-day vacation, leaving your child alone while telling your kid that you were out working hard to take care of her. While you're out on a vacation, having sex with some random dude, having all-you-can-eat crab, while your child has been left alone, and they've locked themselves out of their home, and they have no way of contacting you, and it's just a little kid, and they are all alone, they have no friends. I mean, honestly, at this point, it wouldn't be surprised you just call home and find out that Maria tied a fucking noose and hung herself. And at this point, I'm not sure Rosa would actually be upset about it. Or if she did, even if she does care about Maria, it's very clear she cares more about herself. It's very clear that even if she does love and care about Maria, she's also an exceedingly lazy, selfish, narcissistic, just petty person who has no emotional control. And if she's upset at anything, she takes it out on Maria. And at the same time, she's extremely selfish to the point of being like, it seems like I feel like she outright hates Maria. Like, does she want Maria to die? Because that's what this feels like. It feels like the most generous I could be with Rosa is that she's just a very negligent bitch who doesn't care about her child, and she's a terrible human being. And she's a piece of shit. That's the most generous I could feel about this. On the other hand, I feel like this is premeditated murder. Like, you're leaving with the intention of, like, okay, if I leave this kid alone enough, maybe, I'll come home and she'll just be gone or dead. After all, you have a little kid just walking to random stores at night by themselves. I mean, thank God this isn't like some cities in the world. Like, let's be clear, there's some places out there, like, I wouldn't even walk. Even with a gun, I wouldn't walk in fucking nighttime in certain cities or alleyways. I know I would probably get fucking jumped. Let alone a fucking little kid. This is like 1985, 1986 or so. It's like, Rosa, you're an awful person. You're an awful, horrible person. I know it sounds harsh to me, but I think Rosa should lose all custody, go to prison. I think she should go to prison. And here's the thing. I think anybody that knows Rosa in any way, shape, or form should lose all respect for her as a human being. Like, just at this point, how could you want anything to do with this person? Did you even make Sakutaro yourself? Did you even make Sakutaro? Or was he just some thing you saw for like $1 off a fucking store? Like, I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, I still love Sakutaro. He's my best friend. But at the same time, did you actually make him? Because at this point, I don't feel like I can trust a single fucking thing you say. I can't trust a single motivation, thought, or feeling, or any presupposition I've ever had about you. Because I feel like in the context of this single sentence, you don't deserve to live, Rosa. You're a horrible person. You're a horrible, awful person. I don't know if it's ever possible, even if you were to legitimately like change your ways and decide that, you realize what a fucking piece of shit, horrible thing you are and doing, I don't know if it's ever possible to make this up to Maria. This amount of betrayal and neglect, and actually at times, especially what we've seen in the story, abuse. This is just, and again, where's the dad in this situation? Also, what about Kenzo? Do you not understand or care about what's happening with this? And again, like I said, I think the best thing is like if Rudolph and Battler were on good terms and that family was 4 people altogether. If Maria just got adopted, you'd be a family of 5. Rosa can stop by and visit. But at this point, we can't trust her to even go anything where it's just otherwise you're like, oh, what happened? You wandered off and left your kid alone while you went and just fucked some dude. So what the fuck? It's just, I know it sounds harsh, but you know what? Just Rosa, prison. You deserve prison at this point. You don't deserve your child. Not only are you a terrible parent, you're a terrible person. In general, even if Maria doesn't even know this exact statement, everything else, like just the fact you're doing it, I don't know how you make up. I don't think it's possible for you to make that up to Maria. But even discounting all of that, just the emotional feeling of betrayal that she would have at knowing that this is what's happening. That, oh, she's not at work, she went on vacation, and she's just eating luxury food stuff while partying and getting drunk and getting like banged and fucked by some dude while eating well and being drunk and relaxing while her child's all alone. Like what? Like, and at this point, like, what do you? It feels like she wants Maria to kill herself. It's just. This is fucking horrible. This is horrible. I'm sure such a cold place will do wonders for shrinking the distance between them, don't you? I haven't heard how to contact them. Yep, understood. Hello. I hear she went to Sapporo, but I'm not sure about how to reach her. Should I take a message? I see. What a shame. Well then, if you manage to get in touch with her, could you tell her that we called? Sure, yes. After that, I was taken to the police department, which was even bigger, and ended up spending the night there. Then they asked me various things about myself. A lady who called herself the district welfare officer came by and asked about a lot of things. And again, like I said, in general, I feel like CPS usually should not be involved with families. I feel like there are many situations where that stuff gets involved where it shouldn't be. But I'll say this. This is a situation where I definitely feel it's okay at this point. I feel like it's justified for an intervention to sort of occur at this point. And again, I know I'm being harsh, but you know what? Rosa, prison. Lose all custody. You're not a good parent. You're not a good person. You're just awful, fucking disgusting human being. At this point, Rosa could be hit by a train and Maria would be better off. At the same time, I feel bad about that because Maria would probably feel sad. But at this point, it's just fuck. And I was told, you poor thing. When I heard that, I learned for the first time. Am I a poor thing? Are you? That's not true. You're happy, Maria. Ooh. I feel like with this context, especially at the Kinzo mansion, at this point I expect Maria to pick up the fucking shotgun and just shoot Rosa in the fucking face. Because, Jesus. Also, why are you coming back angry? I understand you're upset, but the end of the day is this. Who is to blame for this, Rosa? You. Do you not care about your child's well-being? Do you not feel bad about the fact that you're a piece of shit? No, you're going to blame your child. Then Rosa came back. Maria was told to go to her room. But on her way back from the bathroom, she hid by the entrance to the living room and listened in on the exchange. The person who had come to visit was the female district welfare officer who had asked Maria various questions on the other day. You can't be so pushy. And even if it's coming from a standpoint of you're trying to like impress some dude to be your new husband, to be like a father to Maria. No, it's still not justifiable, because at this point, I feel like if you say that, that's just a lie. I feel like that's just a lie. I feel like if that was true, this is not how you would go about it at all. I feel like that's just a complete fucking lie. I feel like if Rosa were to say that, that would actually just be her straight up gaslighting me. Maria's heart is too innocent and delicate, so if there was an insensitive kid there, she could be hurt. What's happening? Please stop your pointless meddling. But in that case, miss, if the child is so delicate, why leave her home all alone? Shouldn't a mother be together with her child? I am together with her as much as I should be. I don't need to take instructions from you for something like that. Oh, really? She's very well known in this area. They say your daughter frequently goes out at night to buy things and eat. Everyone was worried and looking out for her. How do you know that was my child? There's got to be plenty of children around this town, right? Don't just suddenly decide that it's my Maria. Kids sometimes walk around outside at night, right? Why do I get the feeling that as soon as this person leaves and Rosa's left alone with Maria, Rosa's gonna decide to take out her anger and have revenge against Maria for making Rosa look bad, and she's going to tear Sakutaro into pieces. Why do I feel like Rosa is going to destroy Sakutaro and the other toys? Why? Why does this feel like deja vu? How can you prove that they were my child? It's well known around the shopping center that a girl holding a lion stuffed animal often stops by to eat dinner and buy things. And here's saying, just saying the word lion stuffed animal, like I read a negative connotation to that, based on the fact that I am like fearing a future where Rosa lights Sakutaro on fire and Maria is on her knees begging and screaming for Sakutaro not to die. Where she's just gonna like take a knife and stab Sakutaro in the chest and rip out his fluff. You know, I felt like I already hated Rosa. You don't need to convince me anymore. Everyone treated Maria-chan like with care out of concern for her. Sometimes people even escorted her home thinking the night roads might be dangerous, you see. Yet you can find lion stuffed animals anywhere. It was none of their business escorting her home. Are they thinking of kidnapping Maria? Don't bother her. Maria's my child. I am raising her. I have no intention of putting her in some strange institution. Stop your needless meddling. You? Does that lion stuffed animal mean me? It's okay. I'm the one in trouble. I'm pretty sure she's going to like tear him into pieces. Or like sew him back together wrong, like the fucking Metalocalypse song. You guys remember Nathan Explosion from Death Clock? Yeah. Sewn back together wrong. Sewn. No, thought some dark humor would make me feel better. No, I just feel worse. I legitimately feel scared and worried about Sakutaro. I don't want Sakutaro to die. Maria hugged Sakutaro, continued to watch her mother fearfully. I also wish I could be with Maria every day. But I'm a single mother, so I have to work. I may not look it, but I'm a president of a company and I bear responsibility for my employees' well-being. I'm busy with my work all year round, so there's no time for me to rest. Really? I think the worst part about this is this. When the welfare lady says what Rosa was actually doing, Maria's listening to all of this. Though I don't think either of them are aware of this. I think Maria is eavesdropping. But when Maria hears what Rosa was doing, I mean, I don't think there's any way to possibly describe this as other than betrayal. Like, I mean, from Maria's point of view, it really does scream that, you know, the person that you love and care about most in this world, who's supposed to be the main person who loves and cares about you, you came out of the person even. Like the only person you feel that actually gives a fuck about you that's not a fucking stuffed animal actually fucking hates you and has been lying to you all the time and is just constantly abandoning you, lying to you, betraying you, and hates you and is angry all the time with you, takes out their frustrations with you like you're a fucking punching bag, and they've just been letting you rot all alone, isolated in a band, hoping you fucking just die while they go out and just party and get drunk and eat shit and all that while just resting, relaxing when you thought they were working hard. Did she even make Sakutaro? It'd be another thing, like, heck, imagine if, like, she really was working. But then imagine if she was, like, giving a lot of her money away to charity. And then fucking guilt trips Maria saying, well, I worked this hard to take care of you. It's like, okay, it'd be one thing if, like, you're working hard and you're actually using that money to take care of the person. But one, you don't care about them. Two, you don't spend time with them. You either spend 99% of the time ignoring them, or the 1% of the time you're around them, you're being abusive, controlling, manipulative, or just actually just constantly telling them everything that's fucking wrong with them. So either you spend most of the time ignoring them, and the very little bit of time you're not lazy enough to where you actually are involved, you just constantly just criticize her about this is wrong with you, that's wrong with you, and how much you hate and are ashamed of her and all that crap, and how awful she is. And it's just, but the main point is this: you can't just like, oh, I'm always working. One, if you're not working, but even then, if you are, even if you were legitimately working all this time and you were really like doing back-breaking labor, but then you give most of that money away to charity or to other people you think need it, regardless of whatever air quotes goodness that would come of the fact that you are working hard and you're helping other people, the fact of the matter is, one, you are essentially stealing that from the person you're supposed to be spending that money on and taking care of. And two is the fact of the matter is this: she's never seeing any benefit from that work. All this extra work you are guilt tripping her about, you know, even if you were legitimately doing it, she's not seeing any benefit from it. So at that point, you're guilt tripping her over something that you have no right to guilt trip her over. Like, you were literally creating a problem so that she's both more dependent on you. You can fucking shame her for it, but of course you force the situation. And then of course you're creating a situation where you're making yourself out into a fucking martyr, but it's either a mix of, one, you're not actually a martyr, you're just straight up lying, or two, you literally put yourself in a situation where you are working all the time, martyring yourself, but that blood of that fucking death on the cross isn't even going for the redemption of Maria's sins. She's not even, so you're basically guilt tripping her and having a holier than thou attitude with her over something that, you know, doesn't actually benefit her in any way, and you have no right. And even then, it's like also the hypocrisy, like you're judging somebody for doing like a minuscule thing compared to you doing something far, far worse at that point with the way you are with fucking Maria. I mean, it'd be like having fucking Charles Manson criticize you for not recycling. I mean, yeah. But you've been on, really, but you've been on vacation these last 3 days, haven't you? I have not been on vacation. I've stayed at my company all night working. There's a mountain of matters to be taken care of that the other unreliable employees can't handle. And here's the thing, Maria's listening to this. How does Maria take this? Why are you lying like that? Someone from your company said you were taking a 3-day vacation, you see. You went to Hokkaido with your boyfriend, right? Leaving your daughter by herself for 3 whole days. I don't know anything about this boyfriend. I don't know anything about Hokkaido. Where are you getting this nonsense? Why? Do you have any proof? What the hell? Don't just start butting in on someone else's family matters. I love Maria. I have my own way of loving her. So just keep your mouth shut. I didn't go on vacation. I was just working the whole time. I was trying to finish things up at work with all of my strength, because I wanted to see Maria as soon as I could. I stayed at the company the whole time. I don't know anything about Hokkaido. Don't go ahead and say something like that. Okay, question. You do know you're lying, right? Why do you sound so fucking adamant and sure about something that's 100% not true? How the fuck? Just get out. Get out. What's wrong with you? Get out. Get out. Rosa raged, her hair flying wildly. A teacup was knocked over from the force of her standing up. But far louder than that was the sound of her beating the table with both hands. When faced with this rage that could accurately be described as wide-eyed derangement, the district welfare officer couldn't help but be taken aback. And the same went for Maria, who was secretly watching this from the hallway. So she's actually able to see it, too. She had already seen her mother in a rage several times before this, but she had never seen her this crazed with anger. I mean, she's probably going to kill you, Maria. I mean, I guess on the plus side, you and Sakutaro can go to heaven together, right? I mean, everyone said that's really depressing. I'm like... It is. It is really fucking depressing. Like, Maria, one, doesn't deserve to be physically assaulted or have her stuffed animal torn to shreds. But let's be clear, even if Rosa doesn't do anything wrong in terms of, I don't know, murder or severe psychological child abuse, because while technically killing Sakutaro is not murder because he's a stuffed animal, I'm pretty sure that would be like extremely psychologically damaging to a child to the point that, I mean, I feel like that's an origin to like a Batman Arkham villain or like something like Hannibal Lecter. I feel like that's a really unhealthy psychological thing for a child. That's completely unjustifiable in any way. But ignoring all that, and of course, you know, the severe abuse and neglect, ignoring that, I don't think Maria deserves to have to see someone behaving in such a way. To be hearing her yell, even if it's not yelling at Maria. I mean, this person's... I don't think it's very healthy for a child to be around someone with, like, psychotic rage and no emotional control. I don't think that's healthy for children. I feel like that would be a very just not good thing for a kid. I feel like no child deserves to have to, be in that kind of situation where you have to, I don't know, fear one of the adults in your household killing you or something. Like, I feel like just even in ignoring everything else, just the attitude, even though she's not yelling at Maria, like, I feel like the attitude that Rosa is having right now, the way she's behaving, I feel like that's abusive in of itself for Maria to have to be seeing and hearing that. Let alone her finding out about what her mother's actually been doing, and I don't think that's very good for Maria's mental health. But she had never seen her this crazed with anger. When she saw this, Maria was sure this was no longer her mother. It was some other evil being that was possessing her mother's body, and then she herself was discovered by the evil being. Maria knew that she was being reflected in the evil being's eyes. Her mind went blank, and she felt as though her field of vision was racing off into the distance. I have a question. If you were Maria right now, and you are dealing with the fact that Rosa is likely to be a very violent, impulsive individual who is very likely to probably just kill you without thinking in a mindless rage, and you might say, oh, that would never happen, Lunar. First off, not only there are numerous news stories all the time about horrible things occurring, but one, I've had personal lived experience dealing with people who are, let's just say it wasn't good for my mental health dealing with people like that. And I've actually encountered many people who have the emotional disposition that I'm inferring to. Heck, I was even married to one of them at one point. Heck, I have a 3-inch scar on my right arm to remember my last Christmas being married to my ex-wife by. Our son was 2.5, playing with his toys. He was happy. She felt annoyed by the noise he was making, so she started yelling, screaming, cussing, picking up his toys, breaking them in her hands, throwing and slamming them into the wall, and kicking things. Kicking things hard enough that they were breaking before they even slammed into the wall themselves. Obviously, he was upset at that. And, our child being sad at Mom going insane, well, It was pretty obvious where that was going next. But I stepped in between them, and I asked her to please stop. She then lunged at me. She stopped when she saw the blood. She then went to our room, and then I covered my arm and comforted my child. I still tried to make that marriage work. Eventually went through a divorce, though. I will say this, definitely glad to be divorced from my psychotic, adulterous, abusive ex-wife who's completely fucking insane. That being said, I've dealt with many other situations like that, especially in my own childhood, but won't go into details about any of that. Definitely don't feel comfortable discussing any of that. Main point being is, in many, many, many different ways, both in terms of stuff, like I mentioned, and stuff that happened when I was a child, and even other stuff that I've known other people to do. It's just... heck. I was never in a relationship with this one person, but I do know this person. And it's a story from a long, long time ago. But this person, this woman, to be fair, that person was drunk. Granted, I wasn't involved in that situation. In fact, wasn't even alive yet at that point myself. Then again, everyone in the past, apparently before I was born and in my younger years, apparently were all given a bit to drink. But I know women who I've heard the stories and that they themselves even told me the stories about their own lives. The weirdest things, I have like 100 different examples. But I guess one I'd go with is there was a woman who had a daughter who was younger than Maria is here. And the woman felt annoyed over something. She'd also been drinking. And keep in mind, this is before I was even born. But the woman decided that, she was angry, so she basically stormed over to her daughter with the intention of balling up her fist and just punching the fucking small child in the face as hard as possible, which, probably would result in death. However, on the way, they basically hit an invisible brick wall and then fell over. Logically speaking, what would make sense is the person was just really drunk, lost their balance, and fell the fuck over. They were just really fucking angry and a rage, and the mix of alcohol and blood pressure would have perhaps caused temporary lightheadedness, and the woman would have just, had a mini pass out, blackout, and fallen over from lack of balance and coordination from alcohol, as well as a change in blood pressure due to severe anger and sudden movement, since the person was basically moving as quickly as they could with the intention of punching their own daughter in the face with a balled up fist at full strength. And then they just, when they were with their arm up in the air, about to punch the child, to death, they just sort of hit an invisible wall, lost their balance, and fell over. Now, the way this person tells the story is they say an angel from God must have been there to stop them, which again, that's distinctly a possibility too. After all, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the supernatural. So I'd say there would certainly be possible that, an angel of the Lord chose to intervene in that sort of situation and prevent that from happening. But it could also be explained scientifically by a woman who was very drunk, decided in a moment of irrational anger to basically try to murder her own daughter. And then the mix of moving quickly while intoxicated and the severe anger caused her to have low blood pressure and fall over. But the fact of the matter is the person, who did that, it's, they explain the story themselves, and they explain it as they hit an invisible brick wall, and it must have been like an angel of God who came and stopped them. Which again, distinctly possible. Very much possible. It's one interesting thing about me in the past, is that I can't really keep to a certain topic or a subject when talking by myself. I'm pretty sure I have ADHD or something. But when I talk to other people, I usually keep conversation away from myself or my own emotions. Heck, if I'm ever brought up, I usually say I'm fine, I'm okay. And I quickly steer a conversation away from myself. A lot of times people would talk to me about a lot of things, especially very personal things. And I would just listen. Most of my conversations were me listening to other people and them talking to me about personal things of their life. But yeah, that being said, in general, I'm not exactly the kind of person to sit and listen to people anymore. That, and I just don't think I emotionally have the fortitude to sit and listen to someone tell me a story about how they almost murdered their daughter in a fucking drunken rage. I suppose my reaction to that story, being completely fucking flabbergasted and not sure what to fucking say, I mean, maybe it's an understandable response. I'm just like, oh, I guess that was good of God to do that. But it's like, what the fuck? I don't know how you respond to that. I'm just like, what? And it's just, I have like 100 different stories of stuff like that. And I'm on the fence to go into more detail on things. Heck, there's more I could even... Like, there's many more details I could share about that one story that I already said. But at the end of the day, it's just like... What the fuck? Main point being, anyone who behaves like that, or, you know, as we're seeing in the visual novel here, it's just absolutely horrible for a person to be like that. On the one hand, I can't understand it. On the other hand, all I can understand is it's terrifying and depressing to the point that it's just, I could talk about it more. But it's just, it bothers me so much that I don't want to, and I'd rather just distance myself from it. After fiercely closing in on Maria, Rosa mercilessly slapped her on her small shoulders and dropped her gaze toward the stuffed animal Maria was holding, Sakutaro. Is the other person still with us? Maria, even though I told you so many times not to take that outside, you brought it with you, didn't you? Could you please not kill Sakutaro? He's my friend. But Uryu, it isn't Maria's fault. I told her to take me. That's not true. I brought Sakutaro on my own because I was lonely. So, Mama, it isn't Sakutaro's fault. Uryu, Maria? It's not Sakutaro's fault. It's not Sakutaro's fault. Instead of Maria, the brunt of Rosa's anger was aimed at the lion stuffed animal Maria was holding. A girl went shopping in the middle of the night, always clutching a lion stuffed animal. Because of that, she had become well known in the shopping center. Didn't I tell you not to take stuffed animals with you? Why? Can't you listen to what Mama says? Why do I feel like she's grabbed a fistful of Maria's hair and is violently shaking Maria's head as she's screaming this directly into her face? Why? Why can't you follow Mama's rules? With every single word, she stamped her heel and banged furiously on the wall. Of course, she didn't make direct contact with Maria. However, the violence of the harsh sound certainly beat against her. Miss, stop that. Oh, so the other person's... You're this fucking insane that you're doing this literally with the other person right there? Do you have no amount of self-control? Let go. I said let go. The adult person that is here to talk to you about your extreme neglect was actually physically holding you back from assaulting your child. And again, I mean, I agree with a parent punishing a child like spanking a kid, but one, not excessively, not too frequently, not too hard, and for a justified reason. And even then, in extreme moderation. I feel like you're going to like rip, like the only reason I'd feel bad about Rosa dying now is like if it would probably make Maria sad, and the goal is Maria not being sad, but at the same time, this person needs mental health problem. Like, I mean, we all have some sort of mental health problem. Mine is I talk to myself, and I have very low self-esteem, and I tend to be depressed and alone. And I don't remember what a hug feels like. And I have like 100 different situations of PTSD. And I probably have ADHD, autism, depression, and borderline personality disorder. But none of those are a danger to anyone else. At no point am I a threat to other people. I'm probably really annoying to other people. Then again, in general, I don't talk about my feelings or emotions to people. Most people think I'm like a fucking robot and that I don't have emotions, or they just don't acknowledge I exist, or I'm invisible, or they just resent that I exist. But in general, I'm not a threat. I'm probably annoying, but honestly, Lunar Dee Eight is as much of a threat as Sakutaro is to anyone. The worst I'm going to do is be sad and talk to myself, and talk to a stuffed animal, and walk on a bike trail by myself, and occasionally cry, or occasionally record a video game where I read a visual novel. And that's it. I'm not an actual danger or threat to anyone in any way, shape, or form. Except, annoying everyone by existing. The district welfare officer had come back to her senses and was pinning Rosa's arms behind her back. But the instant Rosa was touched, she went wild, furiously throwing the welfare officer off. She hit the table and fell to the ground. Did she die? Is she dead? A teacup on the table smashed on the floor, making a violent sound. But Maria didn't do anything wrong. It's my fault. So don't scold Maria. I'm the one who brought Sakutaro. Is the welfare person dead? Did they die? It's not Sakutaro's fault. It's not Sakutaro's fault, so don't look at Sakutaro with those scary eyes. Don't look at him. Don't scold Maria. Looking more and more back at things, I feel 100. Saying I have 100 different situations that have caused PTSD for me. That's definitely underreporting that. If I actively look back over the course of my life, there's at least 1,000. Honestly, it's a miracle I'm fucking alive from anything. looking back at my life, I feel like every human being I've ever encountered who had anything to do with me has been violent and impulsive. At the very benefit, though, at least in my younger years, it was most of the adults had the excuse of being fucking drunks for the way they behaved and talked and acted. Heck, I'll say this. I love my mom very, very much. And yet even she has definitely behaved in ways like this, occasionally herself, when I was young. But I'll say this. I love my mom very, very much. And, well, at least out of every person on the planet, she's been the best to me. And I at least do love and care about her very much. But at the same time, I feel like people who are in their 60s and 70s talking down to me as if there's something wrong with me, literally just because I don't attend the church that they would want me to, for me to be criticized. Is there any consideration for the shit that I'm going through? Or just in general the fact that I've always behaved in a good way and I've never done anything wrong to anyone ever. And yet I can pick out dozens, if not hundreds, of things that each and every one of them did that drastically crossed a line. Though, of course, if I were to ever bring that up, I would be accused, oh, you always bring that up, or it's always, it's like, oh, that was many years ago, or, oh, the other people had it much worse than that. I mean, on the one hand, I have criticized my parents about how they were to me about certain things. And the response back I got was, well, you got it a lot, you didn't have it nearly as bad or as worse as your older siblings did. But that doesn't excuse anything. And literally the only reason things got better is because, one, you guys stopped drinking, and two, because I was the quietest, most reserved, most withdrawn, well-behaved child on the fucking planet. Most of my time was either home alone, walking around outside places by myself, or if I am around you, just being very quiet or going off by myself. Granted, I'm not saying it's just because of family issues. I mean, I had a multitude of fucking issues with school. I mean, everybody fucking hated me and I got told to fucking kill myself 1,000 times a day. And everybody seemed to fucking hate me and I constantly got the shit kicked out of me all the fucking time. Heck, I think I talked about it a bit in a video once. Maybe I'll put that in a link in the description or something. I live in an apartment by myself. It's a 2-bedroom apartment. It's my bedroom and my son's bedroom. Currently, my son hasn't been over here for years and years at this point. The bedrooms are on the 2nd story. The back door and front door are locked. There are alarms set in place. I have weapons in my room for self-defense. My bedroom door is locked. There are iron dumbbells on the floor to stop the door from being opened. Even if someone were to try to ram it off the door and break into my room. There is also a metal folding chair on top of that. There's also another metal folding chair behind that, angled in a way to make it physically impossible to open the door. Even when I'm awake recording a video like this, I have myself barricaded. And of course, granted, I sleep naked, but I also had to have my box fan on while I'm sleeping. A little bit of white noise, plus feel the air circulating. But in general, I'm sleeping. I'll sometimes, when I turn my light off and go crawl into bed, I will get out of bed out of paranoia that I somehow didn't barricade my bedroom door enough. And I'll get out of bed, turn the light back on, and double check that, my door is locked, it's barricaded, it has got metal dumbbells in front of it. It has got multiple folding chairs set up in a way to where it's not like, okay, if it breaks off, it'll make a clink sound here. There's an alarm. There's another thing. Say this. Yes, certainly there are people out there who've had things much worse than me, I guess. But most of those people turn out in a much, much worse way. Heck, I've been criticized for how much I got bullied as a kid. That, if only I'd, been more violent in response. And again, I'm like, obviously, it's important to defend yourself, and yes, of course. But, other than any amount of concern for my physical well-being about me getting hurt or killed or any legal consequences if I had done anything when I was younger, there's also the fact of the matter is this. Emotionally, I would not have been okay with that. But it undercuts, I feel emotionally upset. The fact that I'm being criticized that I deserve to be mistreated for my failure to become fucking Michael Myers. Because the people saying, yo, you should have done this and should do that. What you're fucking advocating I fucking kill people at this point. It's what the fuck? It's the fact that that's one, I'm being blamed as I deserve to be treated poorly for my own lack of violence, that just makes me sad. Don't get me wrong, I feel angry at times with things, and I feel angry. I certainly do have anger, and I certainly do have the capacity where I could, be violent if to make the choice to do so, but it's one of those things, it's I really don't want to. In general, if I ever hurt anybody, it's always going to be absolutely in self-defense. And it's never going to be a situation that I instigate. Heck, I'm usually the kind of person I'm going to go out of my way to de-escalate a situation and to avoid. Heck, my go-to response, if a situation could possibly be violent, is to just avoid the situation completely. Heck, I basically take the Vash the Stampede fucking approach. Now, of course, there's always the possibility that, I'm human, and as such, I have a limited patience or mental threshold when it comes to taking painful things like that. But at that point, if someone does actually push me that far, at that point, who's to blame? If you're just attacking someone over and over who really doesn't... I mean, for all intents and purposes, I'm fucking Sakutaro. Which, yeah, it's just... I understand that's fucking pathetic of me. That basically... I went through a bunch of shit that basically sounds like a fucking origin story out of a Batman comic. And I'm a fucking pacifist for the most part. Don't get me wrong, I'll hurt people to defend myself or defend others, but for the most part, I've always have and always intend to try to do my best to avoid physical confrontation or escalating anything, or, you know, like, it's just... as angry and upset as I am about stuff, I'm not somebody who wants to hurt anybody ever. It's not even really just, I mean, granted, I understand the moral aspect of it, but it's more so just, I really don't want to. I just feel really horrible at the idea of hurting anybody. Which I know, yes, colossal pussy, I know. But yeah, I have only ever hurt anybody in self-defense. And I only ever will hurt anybody in self-defense. The only circumstance in which I'm ever going to hurt anybody is if they're trying to hurt me or hurt somebody else. I mean, it's funny. Most people take such negative circumstances as, and they like become fucking Yujiro Hanma or some shit. Or fucking like Hannibal Lecter. I became fucking Sakutaro. I became a guy who works third shift at a factory, talks to stuffed animals, makes Let's Play videos, plays video games, and just generally just likes to watch anime. And it's just a relatively chill person with some kind of manic depression to where I'm both very sad and also very odd amounts of energy at it. But at that point, it's an influx of either being so fucking sad you want to shut down, or you just fucking go on an energetic tangent talking about your feelings. And in general, in most of IRL life, I don't talk to people about anything, because that shit's really personal. And, you know, one, I don't want other people to know that, but two, it's just like, I just don't feel comfortable talking about it, and it's very personal stuff. It's not stuff I really want to talk to anyone about. But it's just... But yeah, that's funny. My personality hasn't changed since even my earliest memories. I gained experiences and learned a lot of things. But for the most part, I'm the same person I always have been. I don't know where the cat came from. Technically, I guess I invented Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's box. When I was very young, like kindergarten or something, much younger than Maria is even in this story, I was going to be dropped off for school. My mother heard a meowing sound and couldn't figure out where it was coming. I had a cat in my lunchbox. We didn't have a cat where we lived. The cat's perfectly fine, by the way. You know. My mom heard the meowing, took the cat out of the box, but it was like, basically I was lonely, and I wanted to have a friend. So I thought, I'm going to be all alone at school, so, and no one likes me. Granted, I was probably 5, 6, 7 years old or something. So, the idea is that if I brought the cat with me, I could talk to the cat while I was at school and not be all alone. I don't know where the cat came from, though. Obviously, it's a long time ago, but apparently it didn't have, there was no reason for a cat to be, they didn't know any cat's area, so I think I just, as a 5-year-old, captured a random stray cat and decided I'm bringing you with me to school because everyone hates me and I want someone to talk to. But yeah. And personality-wise, I've described myself in fusions of many different things. Heck, I wrote a paper over there. Oh. Ow, my back. Oh. Apparently, I've described my personality as a fusion of Maria and Battler's personalities. But looking at this, I feel like I fucking am Sakutaro in terms of personality. Where is it? I wrote it somewhere. I can't hold multiple things. Ow. I know I need to go to bed soon. I'm trying to make shorter videos, guys. I've described my personality as a fusion of 11 different 11 fusions of anime characters. Fusion 1, Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho and Sailor Moon. Fusion 2, Astolfo and Jack Hanma. Fusion 3, Chrono Gorgon from Soul Eater and Vash the Stampede from Trigun. Fusion 4, Stein from Soul Eater and Nagisa from Assassination Classroom. Fusion 5, Chip the Cable Guy is played by Jim Carrey and Ernest P. Worrell is played by Jim Varney. Fusion 6, Vegeta and the 2003 Guilty Gear XX Testament. Fusion 7, Goku and Tsukasa.Hexine. Fusion 8, Shinji Ikari and Zelos Metallium. Fusion 9, Licked Bak Rihito from Plunderer the anime, and Takumi Nishijo from the video game Chaos Head Noah, which also has a bit of an anime adaptation. Fusion 10, Date from AI The Somnium Files, the first of that trilogy of games, and Mikon Sumiki Danganronpa Despair Island, the second of that trilogy. And Fusion 2, Mega Man Volnut from Mega Man Legends, and Alucard from Team 4 Starbridge. So, Fusion 1, Yusuke Urameshi and Sailor Moon. Fusion 2, Astolfo and Jack Hanma. Fusion 3, Chrono, Gorgon, and Vash. Fusion 4, Stein and Nagisa. Fusion 5, Chip and Ernest. Fusion 6, Vegeta and Testament. Fusion 7, Goku and Tsukasa. Fusion 8, Shinji and Zelos. Fusion 9, Licked Bak Kirihito and Takumi Nishijo. Fusion 10, Date and Mikan Sumiki. Fusion 11, Mega Man Volnut and Alucard. Don't scold Maria, you. You. What were you doing just now? And a minute ago, too? Do you also play with dolls like that outside? Do you do it in front of the people in the store? So that's why they remembered you. Die, you brainless moron. Why are you such a dumbass? Answer me honestly. When you went out, you always walked around with that stuffed animal without telling Mama, right? You. Stop using that weird stuffed animal talk. Speak with your own words, not a stuffed animal's. So Sakutaro isn't a stuffed animal, he's my friend. Don't call him a stuffed animal. Don't. Yeah, I get it. It was called Sakutaro, was it? You took him with you all the time when you went shopping without telling Mama, right? Yeah? Maria admitted it honestly. If she hadn't admitted it, then Sakutaro would have said something to take the blame. So by admitting it right away, she protected her small friend. Only Sakutaro? Any others? You haven't been bringing weird things to school, too, have you? But miss, surely your daughter has done nothing wrong. Stop this interrogation at once. You stay quiet. I'm talking with my daughter, aren't I? Come on, Maria. Look at Mama when you talk. What's the answer to Mama's question? It wasn't just Sakutaro. All the rabbits were with me, too. Do you have them with you now? Maria fished around in her pockets, pulling out 4 ceramic rabbits with her tiny hand. The rabbits were her close friends, who could be together with her at school in Sakutaro's place. But when Rosa saw that, she shook her head slightly as though dizzy. On a school notice, it had been written that Maria was apparently bringing toys to school and playing with them, and her family was instructed to try and prevent this. But Rosa rejected that, blaming the teacher and phoning in protest of her own to the school, saying there was no way her child would bring toys to school. For nearly an hour, she had shouted at the vice principal to stop making false accusations about her daughter. To a certain degree, those at the school had grasped that Maria was a pitiful girl. They knew that the small toys she brought in her with were only friends, so they had done their best to overlook it. But when the other students caught sight of them, some of the boys had started complaining that only she could bring toys, and the school had racked their brains on how to cope with this. They had tried to gently send a warning by the way of the mother, but after Rosa's overreaction, even Maria's teacher decided to overlook it. Now Rosa knew. She had been the one who was wrong, and her daughter really had been bringing toys to school. And those at the school had known that she was a disgrace who brought toys to school and played with them, as though they were her only friends. They are her only friends. To Rosa, who thought her daughter was just a little different from normal children, having this peculiar side of her daughter exposed and found fault with was, more than anything else, something she couldn't bear. So she howled. She raged. The district welfare officer tried to cut between Rosa and Maria again, but she only met with Rosa's wrath once more. Rosa once again threw the woman off with a face like a demon. And when even that failed to curb her anger, she stomped around the ground over and over and over again, so forcefully that it seemed she might break through the... I accidentally hit a button. Break through the floor. Then, after seeming to come back to her senses for a second, she immediately froze her harsh breathing and asked Maria, Maria, those rabbits in the band, are they your close friends? I see. Isn't it great that you have a full 4 friends? As she said that, Rosa grabbed one of the rabbits from Maria's hand. Then she shoved it in front of Maria's eyes so she could see it very well. The cute rabbit holding a trumpet was a small doll like a chess piece. She slowly lifted it into the air. Of course, Maria and Sakutaro's eyes also followed it. And then, with the speed That the eye couldn't follow, she smashed it against the wall. Eek. She'd half imagined that this worst possible thing might happen, so she instantly realized what had been done. So Maria let out a short, despairing scream. It was in pieces. It had been small, sturdy, but that hadn't been enough to withstand her mother's fierce rage. Because you didn't listen to what Mama told you, I broke one of them. Rosa? From now on, every time you disobey something Mama says, I'll break another one. Remember that. Miss, you think to call yourself a mother after doing something like that? You think you can do something like that and not hurt your daughter? Hurt Maria? I'm also hurting, right? Who's going to take responsibility for my wounds? Could you please tone down being evil? Just a little bit? Well, who is? Didn't I tell you to shut up? So stop it, Mama. It's my fault. Don't get mad at this lady. It isn't Maria's fault. It's mine. Don't get mad at Maria. Hurry. Didn't I tell you to stop playing with stuffed animals like that? In the first place, it's disgusting. You say a stuffed animal is your friend? Just how old are you? How old? Well, this is just a gross, crappy stuffed animal made of cloth and cotton, right? Is this the only kind of friend you have? If you have enough spare time to pretend this monstrous stuffed animal is your friend, go out and make some real human friends. Here's a question. Did you even make Sakutaro? Did you even make this? How about the fact that this is literally a gift that you got her? Literally, where the things were gifts like this. Why can you never make any friends? That's why your class always treats you like a weirdo and makes fun of you. Give it a rest and get a hold of yourself already. Grow up from this stuffed animal play. Are you? Like I said, stop playing with that stuffed animal. Mama. Give him back. Give Sakutaro back. Are you? Mama grabbed hold of Sakutaro's head and took him from me. Then she smashed him against the wall over and over. It hurts. I said stop it. Damn it, I told you to stop that stuffed animal act. It's because of this stuffed animal, that's why you can never make any friends. That's why you alone are pushed off to the side in your class and treated like a freak. I should never have given you a stuffed animal like this. I should never have given you such disgusting stuffed animal. Stop it. Give Sakutaro back. Wow. Sakutaro's my friend. My best friend. As long as Sakutaro's there, I don't need anything else. So give him back. For some reason, my frantic request just added oil to the fire of Mama's anger. Mama pushed my arm aside as I tried to grab Sakutaro and snatch him back. And in a bizarre way, she stuck her fingernails on both hands deep into Sakutaro, twisting him. The red muffler, which I had carefully wrapped for him every day, came off and fell to the floor. Sakutaro, who had been so precious to me, was twisted, smashed, torn out with fingernails so much. He was twisted painfully, his face curving in sadness. Then Mama's fingernails found a stitch on the neck and tore it. With the fingernails of both hands, she tore it apart. In that instant, Sakutaro's yellow cloth, and the cotton inside burst apart. It looked almost like moist cotton candy. You? Kutaro? Maria? Sakutaro? Ryu? Kutaro? Taro. The crumpled yellow cloth and the cotton candy flowing out were thrust right in front of my eyes. Then, through Mama's face, the evil being stated it clearly. Sakutaro is dead. Lady Maria's white heart, which was torn apart, Sakutaro. His broken vessel can only be regenerated by the Meister who created him, Rosa. However, Rosa disposed of the vessel's fragments, and even lost the pattern paper. On top of that, his existence was denied by the Meister herself, so his resurrection is now impossible. The Meister died in 1986, and any chance for his resurrection disappeared for all time. Even the endless witch Beatrice could not manage it. Well, I hope everyone's having a good day. Sorry for the long video. I'll try to keep them short from now on. I hope everyone's having a good day, and thanks for joining me. Bye.